Good morning. Hey, let's make the magical pita bread. And there is something magical about it because when that pita bread hits that scorching hot baking steel, it's gonna create this balloon-like puffiness, which is just magical in an oven. Let's get right to it. The 4 ingredients we need: flour, salt, water, and yeast. You can see that little yeast here. For the flour, we're using all-purpose flour. It's really difficult finding flour, so use what you have. All-purpose seems to be trending, so let's give it a shot. So I'm actually real excited about making this. We're gonna take all of our dry ingredients, which we pre-measured. We've got our flour, and it's 420 grams of flour. Put our yeast in here, and our salt, 1 gram of yeast, 16 grams of salt. What we're gonna do before, we're just gonna whisk it up, whisk everything together. Filtered water. I drink filtered water, so we cook with filtered water. Room temperature, and we just pour it in. And this is just like any of our doughs, pizza doughs. Take our GIR, and I'm just gonna kind of mix, right? Get the water incorporated, get it started first. And then I'm gonna put this on the table here. And what I'll do, I'm gonna scrape out the bowl, and then I'm gonna knead for about 2 or 3 minutes. And we're gonna let this dough rest for a couple of hours, and we're gonna have our pita. Before I forget too, I'm gonna actually fire my oven up now. About 400, I'm gonna do about 500 degrees on convection. Let's mix this pita up, and all I'm gonna do is when I say that, I'm just actually kneading it, putting some weight into it, because I'm gonna make sure all these dry clumps of flour are no longer dry clumps. And this is the bulk of the dough, right? And these things are gonna be awesome. I do this for about 2 or 3 minutes, incorporate everything, right? Everything. And when I'm done, we'll put this back into the bowl and let this thing proof for maybe 2 or 3 hours until it doubles in size. And we will then go to the next step. But for now, put this back into the bowl. I'm gonna cover this with saran wrap or something, and then let it proof. It's gonna double in size, and we'll go on to the next step. Hey, so it's actually the next day. I got the dough here, and we let it proof overnight. I just got tied up with something else. Anyway, so the dough's out of the fridge. I'm gonna kick on this oven. I've got 2 steels, but I'm gonna use the bottom steel. I'm gonna preheat at 500 because the secret of great pita is to blast that temperature, and that baking steel is really gonna shine in this environment. We're gonna ball up our dough shortly and roll it out. Stay tuned, gonna be epic. Let's roll out the pita bread. The surface here, I want it to be smooth. A couple things I can do. I can use a little bit of flour. I could also use oil. I find flour to be a little bit easier to work with. Idea is to not have this stuff stick. I'm gonna make maybe like 2 balls. I'm just gonna cut off a couple of these. We like our pita bread to be about maybe 100 grams is a good, let's see how I did here. 81. Boom, 96, pretty cool. All right, let's do one more, just so we can have, show you guys the pita magic. So let's go like this. 113, I'll just trim a little bit off, put that back. 101. Now for the balls, all I'm gonna do is I can roll these like pizza balls. I could also just like kind of shape them like using a claw. We call this the claw method. Put down, I just press and roll at the same time. See how I'm doing this? Almost like our English muffins. Now I'll do this, boom, right? Got a pretty good ball. Then I'm gonna do it just a tiny bit more. And if I put a little pressure on it, it seems to ball up really nicely. You can see? Let's do ball number 2. Press it down, and I just kind of lightly, with like using a claw, Now the real talented guys can do 2 at a time. I'm not there yet. I'm still working on my 1. Anyway, so I kind of do my ball, slide underneath, and those are pretty good. And so I can just let these, I'm gonna let these rest for maybe 15, put them right here for you, 15 or 20 minutes, and then we're gonna roll them out and do the pita thing. Are you guys ready to roll? So the secret to rolling out pita is there is no secret. Just press down and roll, baby. Let's do this. So flour up your station, grab your rolling pin, right? I'm gonna douse kind of both sides of this with flour because I don't want it to stick. That's really the biggest thing. And when I'm rolling, just start and press it. What I don't want to do is I don't want to make this thing so flat that there's got no meat left to rise. And I let this dough rest for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. That's about it. Just keep picking it up, making sure it's not getting stuck to your table, and then just keep going, just like this. Move these out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Working my magic. Just keep pressing, turn, and this is gonna make a nice little disc, maybe about 5 or 6 centimeters. It's almost there, right? And now if I get stuck like that, which is gonna happen, just flour up, more flour, more flour, more flour, more flour. We can shake the flour out afterwards. But you can see I'm just about there. I'm gonna do 2 at a time, because I live dangerously. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And you can see, that's about 1/4 of an inch thick, okay? And that's about as thin as I wanna make this thing, because if it's too thin, like I said, there's gonna be no meat left to have this thing blow up like a balloon, which is the ultimate goal. All right, so press, press. If you don't have a rolling pin, you could try a wine bottle. You could try one of your kids' toys. I don't know what toy that would be. There's a lot of different options, but rolling pins do come in handy. And I use it for pizza sometimes too, the thin crust. And I've even heard of Pita pizza. In fact, we posted one of those on our Instagram this week. And if you don't follow us, we are at instagram.com/bakingsteel. And I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos. And if you are, please subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing these and more. So you can see another 5-inch disc, probably about 1/4 inch thick. You guys see this? Probably throw it this way. And this one's shrunk down a little bit. That's okay. We're gonna press it out again. And then we're gonna do is prepare these things for launch. All right, let's talk about the launch. So you're gonna need, just like your pizza. You guys paying attention? Get your pizza peel. I'm gonna lightly dust it, and we're gonna do one at a time to keep it simple. Give this one last press, right? Got my disc here, about 1/4 inch thick. I'm gonna place it right on my peel, and just like in the oven, back of the peel to the back of the steel, and I just kind of lightly shake it off. A little bit easier because there's no toppings to deal with. Got the oven cranking at 500 degrees. Baking steel is 500 degrees. It's been at least an hour, so I feel pretty confident. Let's go in. I'm gonna launch this like that, boom. Let's put our timer in because we find about 2 minutes we can get this thing pumping really good. My timer on. I'm gonna change this up, change the view. Go like this. Time lapse. Let's go in the oven. You can see that if you like. You can actually take this thing and just flip it over, cook the other side, give that another minute, cook both sides. You don't have to do that. And we'll have our pita. And that was less than 2 minutes. One last note here. When your pita's all done, you can take a linen, okay? press them in. Watch out for that steam. It's super hot. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You see that? I don't even know if you can see that. Anyway, put your, cover these things with a linen or something, and that'll help keep them soft just for a few minutes before you serve them. And if you want to keep these, just throw them in a plastic baggie overnight, and that'll keep them nice and moist. Enjoy your pitas.